You ever feel that eerie pause before a storm, the kind of moment where the world exhales and you just know something's about to break? That was Tuesday morning in Cleveland. The city felt unsettled. The scoreboard from Sunday wasn't just a number anymore, it was a scar. Browns 16, Bengals 17. 1 point, 1 heartbeat, 1 turnover too many. Walking into the facility felt like stepping into a church after a funeral. Quiet, heavy, everyone speaking in half sentences. You could hear the flick of a light switch or the scrape of a chair echo like thunder. And the worst part, on paper, Cleveland should have owned that game. They outgained Cincinnati. They controlled the clock. They strangled the Bengals offense, Garrett, and that front seven held them to barely 140 yards. But football isn't won on spreadsheets. It's won in the cracks, the tiny mistakes that split open like fault lines. A missed field goal window here, a sloppy turnover there, and suddenly everything you built comes crashing down. And then there was the name you didn't see on the stat sheet. The name buzzing louder than any headline, Shedeur Sanders. The rookie phenom, the lightning rod, the cultural earthquake. He didn't take a single snap in week 1. Instead, the Browns rolled with veteran Joe Flacco, 290 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Decent on paper, but the rhythm was all wrong. Drives sputtered at the worst possible times. Special teams cracked under pressure. And in the AFC North, where the margins are razor thin, that's the difference between heartbreak and celebration. After the game, Kevin Stefanski faced the cameras, measured and careful. Shedeur's developing exactly how we want. Joe gives us the best chance right now. But every week is an evaluation. He didn't say they lost because Sanders didn't play. But he didn't close the door either. And that half sentence, that tiny sliver of ambiguity, it was pure gasoline. By Monday morning, every talk show, every podcast, every Twitter thread was on fire. Some pundits begged for stability. Give Flacco another week, keep the locker room calm. Others whispered about Dillon Gabriel. Yes, Dillon, spelled correctly, maybe adding a spark. But the gravitational center of every conversation was still Shedeur. Fans replayed his college highlights like they were summoning a storm. Would one drive from Sanders have changed everything? That question hung in the air like static. Now looming on the horizon, week 2. Ravens, Matt Bank Stadium. Baltimore doesn't just test your playbook, they test your soul. They're physical, disciplined, merciless. To win there, Cleveland can't just tinker around the edges. They need an identity. They need vertical aggression on early downs, misdirection that bends linebackers out of position, tempo sequences that punch Baltimore's defense in the mouth before it can dictate the pace. And in every meeting room, on every whiteboard, there's that unspoken possibility: unleash the rookie. Some bright spots remain. Tight end Harold Fannin Jr. turned heads with 7 catches in his debut. Running back Dylan Sampson showed grit with 93 yards and 8 receptions, big moment stuff. Defensive rookies Mason Graham and Carson Schweisinger graded out high on PFF's Rookie Team of the Week. Quiet moves are happening behind the scenes. Cole Strange released from practice squad, whispers that Quinson Judkins could debut on Sunday. In Baltimore, even one fresh set of legs, one broken tackle, can flip momentum like a switch. Then came Tuesday's press conference. Shedeur stepped up, measured words, calm tone. I focus on my work. I'll be ready when my number's called. No fireworks. But if you were listening closely, you could feel the undercurrent. Cleveland's leadership might want to wrap him in bubble wrap a little longer, but the fans? They've already unwrapped the gift in their hearts. On local talk radio, callers chant the same phrase, if not now. When? Social feeds loop his highlight reels as if they can will him into the huddle. Meanwhile, the league is watching. Dallas TV producers note the ratings spikes whenever the Browns play. Vegas odds makers recalculate spreads on a single turnover. Executives from rival NFC teams whisper about leverage, what-if trades, and long-term strategies. The whole thing has turned Cleveland's quarterback situation into must-see TV. Here's the reality. Kevin Stefanski is standing on a tightrope over Lake Erie. On one side, the veteran approach, pound the run, play field position, trust Myles Garrett's defense, and hope Flacco steadies the ship. On the other, the siren song, Shedeur Sanders, raw but electric, capable of turning a busted pocket into a 70-yard highlight that explodes on every screen in America. Stefanski knows this choice could define his reputation in Cleveland forever. The city hasn't forgotten coaches who hesitated and watched their seasons implode. Inside the locker room, the vibe is complicated. Offensive linemen, battered from the Bengals front, admire Sanders' lightning release in practice. Receivers whisper about deep routes they haven't run yet. Defensive veterans keep their poker faces, but one linebacker quietly tells a reporter, "We're tired of 3-and-outs, putting us right back on the field." Even special teams guys who just want stability, can feel the ripple effect of quarterback chaos. Across the division, John Harbaugh and the Ravens aren't fooled. Their defensive staff is prepping for Flacco and Sanders. Film sessions include side-by-side cut-ups, Flacco's methodical intermediate game versus Sanders' off-script brilliance. Baltimore's linebackers drill spy techniques. Safeties study how Sanders manipulates coverage with his eyes. They know one reckless blitz could become the highlight of the week. And beyond Baltimore, beyond Cleveland, the NFL at large is holding its breath. Shedeur Sanders is already more than a rookie quarterback. He's a cultural phenomenon, a marketing powerhouse, a walking storyline. His college legacy and nil savvy have changed the way front offices think about rookies. If Stefanski rides with Flacco and loses again, critics will call him stubborn. If he unleashes Sanders and the rookie struggles, they'll scream reckless. Either way, Sunday in Baltimore isn't just a game. It's the next chapter in a franchise-defining saga. The flight to Baltimore may be short, but the emotional baggage on that plane? It could sink a jumbo jet. I swear, you could feel Wednesday's practice before you even saw it. The sky over Cleveland fell heavier, like even the weather knew what was at stake. I walked out onto that field, and there was Shedeur Sanders, number shining under the late summer sun, taking second-team reps, but man, every time he let one fly, it was electric. The ball didn't just cut through the air, it hung there, like the whole city was holding its breath. Every spiral, every completion, the cheers came louder than they had any right to. Dillon Gabriel stepped in next, crisp, efficient, textbook perfect. But let's be honest, it didn't pull you in the same way. You could almost hear the difference in the air. And then there's Quink Judkins, legs so fresh you could almost smell the grass burning beneath his cleats, hinting at a debut that might shake things up. Harold Fannin Jr., the rookie tight end, ran his routes with a quiet confidence that makes veteran quarterbacks trust him already. Off to the side, I spotted Kevin Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt standing near midfield, talking low. You couldn't hear a word, but you didn't need to. Van Pelt gestured toward Sanders. Stefanski shook his head ever so slightly. Then both men glanced toward a huddle of receivers, laughing with chatter. That's the kind of silent conversation that doesn't just decide games, it decides seasons. Back in Cleveland, the whole city is buzzing like a beehive that's just been kicked. Sports bars play those painful Bengals highlights on a loop. Every missed opportunity, a fresh sting. Talk shows argue numbers versus instinct. And social media? It's gone nuclear. Memes of Sanders in Ravens' purple flood timelines. Some of it's jokes, but some of it isn't. His jersey still outsells everyone else's. The Sanders clause chatter from the offseason? Trending again. One local writer nailed it. The Browns may be 0-1, but Sanders is undefeated in the court of public opinion. Myles Garrett isn't sulking. He told reporters straight up, Baltimore's always a fistfight. We're ready. And you can see it in the drills. The defensive line tightens gap assignments like surgeons checking stitches. Linebackers chase ghosts under the fading light until the sun disappears. Meanwhile, Van Pelt scripts 20 plays for Sunday. 10 safe, 10 wild enough to set Twitter on fire. Among those wild cards, a play-action rollout tailored for Sanders, just in case. Nobody will say it on record, but you can feel it. The Ravens' game plan has a hidden glass box labeled shatter, break only if necessary. And that's the paradox. Stefanski's been here before, decision points that can define careers. But 2025 isn't the NFL he inherited. Social media turns whispers into earthquakes. Fan impatience moves faster than a blitz. And Shedeur Sanders? He's not just another rookie. Delay too long, and a locker room can rot from inside. Rush him too soon, and Baltimore's defense could leave scars that last forever. Protecting the future might mean risking it. By Thursday morning, Cleveland's quarterback drama was a 24/7 reality show. Debate tables on ESPN, FS1, NFL Network, all split screens Flacco, Sanders, Gabriel. Highlights of Shedeur's college bombs against Pack, 12 defenses looping in the background. One analyst pounds the desk, Stefanski's playing scared. Baltimore will bury them if they wait. Another fires back, you don't feed a rookie to the Ravens' defense on the road. Protect him. On local radio, the city's heartbeat plays out. Construction workers on lunch break, grandmothers in faded Bernie Kosar jerseys, teenagers quoting stats they barely understand. They all want the same thing: clarity, excitement, hope. Across the league, executives whisper, like sharks circling blood. A text from an NFC personnel director leaks: "If Cleveland mishandles this kid, we pounce." The Browns' analytics department lays it out in cold numbers. Start 0-2 in the AFC North, and your playoff chances sink below 12%. Sunday isn't just week 2. It's a season pivot. Flacco brings steadiness. Sanders brings fire. The city wants the fire. And Shedeur himself? He's more than a quarterback prospect. He's a generational symbol, part signal caller, part CEO, part influencer. Raised on nil deals and TikTok virality, he's proof the NFL's old hierarchy is cracking. Coach Prime stays quiet publicly, but his Instagram tells another story. Highlight clips, lock emojis, keys, and the words, "Patience is earned, not given." The fans study every frame like scripture. Baltimore's locker room notices. Kyle Hamilton says, "We're preparing for everyone. Doesn't matter who's back there, we're coming." Roquan Smith grins. "If the kid plays, welcome to the league. But we're not rolling out the red carpet." Behind closed doors, a Thursday meeting that was supposed to be about third down efficiency feels like an intervention. Veteran center Ethan Posick pleads, "Drown out the noise." But everyone knows hashtags shift narratives faster than any blocking scheme. Later, as dusk settles over the practice field, Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore stay late with Sanders, catching deep balls under a sky painted in orange and purple. The spirals cut through the night air like promises not yet kept. Even Vegas feels it. Odds makers twitch the point spreads with every rumor. Network producers pitch Shedeur's effect, the future of NFL marketing. League officials whisper about how this drama could reshape rookie contracts. Friday's walkthrough feels heavy. Stefanski's voice is calm, but you can taste the tension. A loss in Baltimore, and the noise becomes chaos, fan fury, ownership meddling, a season slipping. A win, even an ugly one, quiets the storm and buys time. As the team boards a plane, Garrett stares out at the Cleveland skyline. He's lived this cycle: instability, quarterback controversies, hope snatched away. "We've got the guys," he mutters. "We just need the spark." Maybe that spark is sitting on the bench wearing a number that sells more jerseys than veterans with playoff wins. Maybe it's hidden in a game plan daring enough to test Baltimore's secondary without reckless turnovers. Either way, Sunday isn't just another September game. It's a referendum on courage. Under Sunday night lights at Mantbank Stadium, the scoreboard will measure points, but the league will be watching for something far bigger. Will the Browns seize their moment? Or let it slip through their fingers? Shedeur Sanders hasn't taken a single NFL snap, yet his shadow already stretches across the AFC North like thunderclouds before a storm. In today's NFL, stories aren't written after the game. They're written before the ball ever leaves the quarterback's hand. And Cleveland's next chapter? It's about to be written in Baltimore.